Today, I'm going to be showing you how to use the tracking feature in DaVinci Resolve to replace a moving screen. We have two examples for you to work on. The first one is a Microsoft Surface that I have sitting on a table, and I'm using a slider to pan left to right. During the shot, I realized that I had left the screen off, so we have a black screen. I'd like to replace that with either a still image to act as my desktop screensaver image, or even put a video clip over the top. Now, if this shot was locked off in a static position, it would be a masking task, which is relatively straightforward. But because it's moving, I need to be able to make sure that the overlay video footage or image that I'm using moves along with the background layer. And that's where the use of the tracking tool comes into place. In the second example, we have a walkthrough scene in the Block Arcade in Melbourne, and I just thought I'd use this to show you how we could do the same type of thing and completely swap out the signage of a shop as we're walking through. Same kind of technique with a different example being used. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to use tracking in DaVinci Resolve. Okay, so we're in the editing tab of DaVinci Resolve. I've already imported my media into the media pool. I could just drag my clip onto the timeline, or alternatively, if I like, I can double click on the clip and I can set my in-out points that I would like to edit. So I'm going to go to the beginning of this slider motion over here, set an in point, drag the slider to the end of that slide and set the out point. And then I'm going to select just the video, not the video and audio, by dragging the video clip directly onto the timeline. And as I mentioned earlier, I would really love to have shot this with either the Windows screensaver or some video footage as I was creating the pan. So rather than go back and reshoot it, we're now going to add a tracking effect and place that footage over the top. So to do that, we are going to go into the Fusion tab. This is the icon that sits next to the Edit tab. Looks like a magic wand. We're going to click on that. So when you first get into Fusion, you'll see two nodes, Media In and Media Out. So everything that we place in between will affect what's going on with the media, and it will then be rendered out to the main timeline. So we're going to click on the Media In one node, and we're going to use the keyboard shortcut, which is Shift and Space together. That brings up a pop-up window in the middle of the screen, and we're going to be adding a tracker. So type the word tracker into the search field at the base of the pop-up window, and you'll see there are three different types of trackers available. This tutorial deals with the planner tracker, which, as the name implies, deals with the movement of objects within a plane. So we're going to select that planner tracker and select Add, and that creates a new node in between the Media In and Media Out, which is exactly what we want. Click on that node, and on the right-hand side in the inspector window, we can go and adjust our parameters. So the first thing we're going to do is check that our operation mode is set to track, which it should be by default. Then we're going to change our tracker from point to hybrid point area. Then we're going to go to the timeline below the preview window, and we're going to drag the red marker on the playhead across to the far left, which is the beginning of the in point of our clip. And then we're going to go and create our track area by clicking on the points on the footage itself in the preview window. So I'm going to select the entirety of the screen, and depending on the size of the area that you're tracking, you might need to zoom in by using the zoom option in the drop-down menu here. And you can refine till you get to the exact points that you're trying to track. So we have our playhead at the beginning, we have created our track area, and we're now going to click on the set point, which is situated on frame 69, which is where I marked the in point of that video clip. And we can then go in and press the track to end option, which will automatically create a tracking effect over that whole entire screen area. Let's take a look. And everything appears to be working really well. We now are tracking the black area of the Surface screen. Step 2 is to drag the media that we'd like to overlay on top of our screen into the Fusion node window. So I'm going to start by using the Windows background PNG and just drag it right in above the tracker node. And then I'm going to select the rectangle on the right-hand side and drag it directly onto the planner tracker node. Now we're going to click on the planner tracker node again, and we're going to change the operation mode from track to corner pin. And you'll see that that image that you dragged into the node window now appears as an overlay above your background footage. And you can proceed to grab the corners of that image or video clip and drag it in to the section you would like to have tracked. Now, I've gone to the extreme edges here. That's not really realistic. The Microsoft Surface has a pretty large bevel around it. So let's just simulate that. And that's awesome. Now let's go back to the beginning of the media clip. Press on play. And as you can see, we have successfully tracked that image on top of the Surface. Now, it doesn't play back very smoothly in the Fusion tab at all times. So if you'd like to get a good look at it, go back to the Edit tab, bring the playhead back to the beginning, and tap on play to preview the result. And if you'd like to do the same with video, simply drag your video clip into the Fusion node window, connect it to the planner tracker, click on the planner tracker node, select corner pin, position your video in the same way that we positioned our image earlier on. And there's the same example, but this time using a video clip. Now, just quickly, I'm going to do exactly the same thing with a scene that I shot in Melbourne using a GoPro, and we're going to swap out some shop signage as I'm doing the walkthrough using the exact same effect. And you can see on screen that I'm going through all of exactly the same commands and just getting it to analyze this particular video scene and replacing it with an alternate logo. And this will give you an idea of the many varied applications for this type of tracking effect. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, feel free to hit me up with a like and consider subscribing to the channel. See you on the next one. Bye for now.